Chapter 1. The morning started out as regular as any other. Private Detective Kate Marshall woke at 6, just before her alarm, and automatically reached for her swimming costume, which was hanging on the chair beside her bed. Kate swam in the sea every day of the year, come rain or shine, but it was these sleepy summer mornings, when the breeze was light and the silvery fingers of dawn were just breaking above the horizon, that she loved the most. Her house was perched on top of a cliff in Thurlow Bay, on the south coast of England. It was a quiet spot, 5 miles outside the university town of Ashdean. After a quick slug of water from the tap in the kitchen, Kate opened the back door, which led out to a small terrace and a sandy path, and blearily picked her way down to the beach. The sand was soft, and she felt the prickle of the marram grass underfoot as it levelled out at the bottom of the cliff, and she walked through the dunes. The grass was tall, covering the high mounds and sheltering her from the breeze coming off the water. As she emerged onto the beach, the first rays of the sun peeked over the horizon, hitting a large pool of seawater on the beach with a sparkle. To her left, she could see all along the craggy Jurassic coastline to Ashdean, which sat in a small horseshoe-shaped bay. To her right were the cliffs, dotted with an occasional house, and a black outcrop of rock jutting out into the sea formed a barrier to the west. Kate thought a couple of the surfers staying at the caravan park opposite her house might already be in the water, but no, she had the beach to herself. The wet sand was solid and cool under her feet. She dropped the towel a few meters from where the swells broke and stepped into the surf. The waves rolling in were knee-high, and she felt the zing of the water on her skin. The sand dropped away as she walked through the breakers, and taking a deep breath, she dove in. Kate first noticed something was wrong when she came up for air, and she felt a current pulling at her waist, like invisible yet solid fingers. And then it all happened so fast. She glanced back at the shore at the vast shimmering pool of seawater, saw the deep channel of white water rushing back from the large pool into the sea, and there was a violent pull on her legs. Kate was dragged under, her legs spinning around her head, and she realised too late that she'd swum into a deadly riptide. All her years of sea swimming fell away, and she was caught in a blind panic of survival. The speed and power of the riptide was sudden and terrifying. Kate was dragged away from the shore, tumbling over and over. She saw flashes of the sky, the empty beach, and a glimpse of her house on the cliffs, now far away. And then she was yanked violently back down. She coughed and gagged, and her throat filled with seawater. On the other side of town, Tristan Harper, Kate's partner in the detective agency, shifted in the driver's seat of his Mini Cooper. His back hurt, and his butt was going numb. He checked his watch and saw it was coming up to 6:10 a.m. "Come on, please, go to work," said Tristan, keeping his eyes on the yellow front door of a terraced house further up on Walker Avenue. It was a neat road of terraced houses in the posh part of Ashdean. The house belonged to an architect called Terence Trent. He was in his early 50s, and his wife had hired Kate and Tristan to prove he was having an affair. He heard a door slam to his left, and turned to see an older lady emerging from the gate of the house he was parked outside. She wore a faded pink tracksuit, and her short, jet-black hair was set in a very tight perm. She came to his window, knocked on the glass, and then stood back with her arms folded. Tristan looked back at the yellow front door. Terence Trent was due to leave for work at any minute. He wound down his window. "Can you please tell me why you have been sitting outside my house since 3 o'clock this morning?" the woman demanded. "Well?" She spoke grandly and seemed to emphasize random words. Up close, her face was covered in thick, pale foundation, and she'd overdrawn her lips in scarlet. The crown of tight, jet-black curls on her head reminded Tristan of a glistening plate of winkles. He wondered if it was a wig or a terrible dye job.